everyone, welcome to this week's video. I hope that you are all good, and today I have something very exciting to show you. I have been going a bit overboard lately, buying a few books to use as inspiration for illustrations and paintings, and I thought it was an interesting thing to share with you all, and I hope you enjoy it. And before I start, I would just like to thank everyone that has been following my videos over here, liking, using my links, commenting. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider to do so. That will help me to get my content to more people. And I'm always posting videos about things related to art and watercolor and art supplies in general. So I hope to see you here more times. If you like the video, like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I'll be posting my next video. And now let's start. Today I'm gonna be sharing some vintage books that I've got in physical stores and online. And before I started showing the books, just want to share a little bit of the background for these purchases. I really am very attracted to this type of vintage illustrations, encyclopedia type of books. I've always been since I was a kid, and now that I'm doing artwork, I find them very inspiring to look at. So let's start with this first one here. This is a book that I got in a charity shop here in Dublin, and it cost me €1, as you can see. And you can see that signs of use and everything, but it's a beautiful little book, The Hamlin Guide to Trees of Britain and Europe. So you can see here that there are some illustrations, and there's even some notes that the previous owner left here, which is interesting. I got it more for the illustration. So here you have leaves and tree trunks and seeds and flowers, and here's all the information about the trees themselves. I find it a really interesting book to just browse, and occasionally you can find something, you know. Here you have fruit, looks like pears. It really smells like a notebook, you know, something like you would get from a library or something. And yeah, I find this type of books really interesting to look at. So yeah, here you have it. This one, like I said, all about trees and their parts, and you have lots of different trees to be inspired by. So this one I got in the physical shop over here. It's not very often that I find this type of books in the charity shops here in Dublin. Usually you find a lot of fiction books and not so much of this old type of illustrated books, but this time I was lucky. Now, the other books that I'm gonna show you here, I bought online, and I'm gonna share with you the seller that I found out that I found it was a great discovery. It's called the WOB Books, and they have a website that is Britain, and they have another one that is Europe, I believe. I'm not sure if they ship internationally outside of Europe, but I'm gonna check this info and then I'll leave it here on the screen. But in any case, they also sell on Amazon, so I encourage you to take a look. I'm gonna leave in the description below here the websites. You can also check on Amazon. Sometimes the price can differ a little bit. For instance, some of the books I found, they were more expensive on their European website than on their British counterpart, even though the European website had free shipping to Dublin and the British one had like a £1 shipping cost per book, it still came out cheaper buying from the British website. And they sometimes have some promotions, like I got a good few of these books I got in this promotion where you got, I believe, 4 books and one of them was free if they were all under £5. So it was also a great way to get some vintage books and have lots and lots and lots of stuff. You can browse there for hours. And I'm sure that also if you are in the US, there may be also this type of websites with vintage books available. I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna leave here on the description below the alternatives I find in case you are not in Europe and you want to take a look at books, these books are similar to that. In any case, like I said, they also sell on Amazon, so you can also get a lot of books that are old books or books that are not published anymore. You can always find them from sellers also on Amazon. I just purchased another illustration book from Sarah Kay, and it's out of print, and I got it from a seller in Amazon. So that's another option as well to get this type of books. So the next two actually, I got about mushrooms. And this is something that I really love to look at. I don't know why, but I'm fascinated by mushrooms. I think that there's so much variety and colors and shapes and textures that it's just an endless source of inspiration if you don't know what to paint or what to draw. And so I got these 2 books about mushrooms. This is a very abbreviated one, small guide. It's called The Usborne Potter's Guides, Mushroom and Fungi. It's quite thin. And then here you have some information on mushrooms and the names of the parts, which is very interesting to know as well. And then you have here the types of mushrooms, the beautiful illustrations, all sorts of different mushrooms, also sliced so you can see how they look. It's a really nice little book. Love the colors of the illustrations. Here's some black and white illustrations. And here there's even some information about useful fungi, harmful fungi, how to grow mushrooms, how to spot mushrooms. So yeah, all in all, a nice little book. And I'm not sure if there is the date here when it was published. Yeah, 1980 and 1988. So yeah, it's quite an old book, but very nice to look at. This is Mushrooms and Fungi. Now this one, it's the DK handbook about mushrooms. I have another one with butterflies that I've shared in a previous video where I talked a little bit about inspiring books as well. I'm gonna leave a link here in case you haven't checked. So this is another one from the same type of guides that I also got from World of Books. I think this one I got from Amazon actually, but was the same seller. And this is more of a photographic guide of mushrooms. So you have here all types of different mushrooms with info and photos. Which is also very interesting to look at. I could spend days just checking and then trying to draw and paint all this type of different mushrooms, which is really fun. fun fact, I also had tiny little mushrooms growing in my terrarium. From time to time I have a closed terrarium in a big glass jar, and from time to time there are some mushrooms that pop up, so that will be good also. If I'm not mistaken, it was this type here, but needs to be checked. So yeah, this is an overall very nice photo guide for different types of mushrooms. And then here you have, for example, all the types and all the pages where you can find out more about them. So yeah, this is a more complete encyclopedic type of guide. So yeah, if you like mushrooms, maybe you like this one too. And actually I have a third one about mushrooms, but not only mushrooms. This is the Oxford Book of Flowerless Plants, not plants, plants. This, there's also a series of other books by Oxford. You will find many of them in this website I mentioned, the World of Books, and I thought this was an interesting one also to get. What I like is that they talk also about other type of plants that are flowerless, not only mushrooms. You have here like ferns. Here's type of never know how to pronounce this, lichens. Yeah, fungi. Here are more like aquatic plants. Mountain lichens. Ferns, mosses. So I have a little bit of everything here. And the illustrations are just beautiful. I love this type of natural history kind of book. So yeah, I have a bit more fungi over here, some seaweeds. I love seaweeds. I really want to practice more drawing seaweeds, so this would be great for me. Yeah, so that's another interesting one. Now I have another book about plants. This is another Oxford book, the Oxford Book of Food Plants, and I thought this also was interesting. This belonged to a library, as you can see, in London. So it's the same type of illustrations of the previous book, the flowerless plants, only that this one is focused. This is cassava, that we call in Portuguese mandioca. I've seen and eat this for years and years and years in my life back in Brazil. So yeah, I have all sorts of vegetables. I think there's a section in herbs as well. Here you have Brussels sprouts, lettuce, mint, I think, or lemon balm. So like I said, herbs, vegetables, fruit. I just find this so lovely to look at and be inspired by, you know. I really look forward using this for some watercolor paintings. Look how it's beautiful. Some fruits. yeah, so this is also a very interesting book, full of illustrations, lots of things to be inspired by. And now I'm getting to the big boy, this book here, The Illustrated Flora of Britain and Northern Europe, over 2,400 plants, native and introduced, described and illustrated in color. Another very beautiful book, packed with illustrations. I'm gonna just share with you some of them here. Some of you may have seen it. I had some issues with the footage for this last part of the video, so I decided to refilm it today. It's a new day and I'm ready to show you the last 3 books for this video. And this is The Illustrated Flora of Britain and Northern Europe, and it's a quite substantial book, as you can see, so I'll do my best to show you the illustrations, put some music and enjoy. So this next book is even bigger than the previous one, as you can see. It can barely fit the frame here of the video. I apologize for that, but every time I try to zoom out a little bit to show the book on its entirety, things get a bit distorted, so I hope you'll be able to see like this. There's still some degree of distortion, but I hope it won't bother you too much. And the same with this book here. I'm just gonna be showing you the illustrations, and I hope you enjoy. The last one is this quite big book also, but fortunately this is a bit thinner, so it'll be easier to show. This is the Grammar of Ornament by Owen Jones. It has 100 color plates from the folio edition of Great Victorian Source Book of Historic Design, and it's really a joy to look at. There's tons of different patterns and ornaments from different backgrounds. I'm gonna show you a little bit of it. It's really lovely. I've been meaning to practice drawing ornaments for a while, and I was looking at the Taschen book, the Book of Ornament. But when I saw this one, I don't know, I thought it was an interesting one to get, and I'm very happy with it. So it starts with patterns, ornaments from Oceania. Then goes to Egypt. Lovely, lovely colors. I love this color palette, these patterns. It's a lot of things for the Egyptian section. Look at this. It's gorgeous to look at. And then we have here Assyrian and Greek. Pompeii. There's a lot of mosaic in Pompeii. Then we have Roman, Byzantine, Arabian, very complex patterns. More Arabian. Then we arrive at the Moorish section. This is beautiful. A lot of this around the southern Spain, Cordoba, Sevilla. It's very beautiful. And Persian. Indian, and Burmese, Chinese. I was very surprised by this Chinese section because these are not the colors that I usually associate with Chinese ornaments. Not that I'm a specialist, but yeah, you're used to see like a lot of red and gold and this type of thing. Celtic. This it's very common to see here in cemeteries, the Celtic cross. And what else? Medieval. Renaissance. You see, there's loads and loads of different ornaments to look at. It's an infinite amount of things to feast your eyes on. Renaissance. A lot of this type of Baroque kind of thing. Maybe I'm using random words to describe it. I'm not a specialist, like I said. I'm just saying what comes to mind. This is Elizabethan ornament. Italian. And then at the end we have leaves and flowers from nature. Yeah. So, yeah, this was the Grammar of Ornament. And we are at the end of our list of books. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked also at browsing through the illustrations, got inspired to create something, to get some of these books maybe. If you did, please remember to give me that thumbs up, share the content with other people that might be interested, and if you haven't followed me yet, consider doing so, and I'll see you soon. Bye!